Counterfeiting is a global, evil enterprise that threatens the health and safety of our nation. We're living in a world full of fake products where nothing seems the same. Every product in every industry are vulnerable to the counterfeiters. Counterfeiting simply means to produce fake replicas of original products. This program is designed to wake our nation up to the realities and dangers of counterfeiting.
Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success.
Welcome to Boldfaces.
Nice to meet you.
For the benefit of our viewers in Nigeria and in diaspora, tell us about your background.
My name is Lekan Asuni. I'm a pharmacist by profession. I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University. We are a pharmacy. I have my MBA, and I started practicing a few years ago in GSK, and I've worked in various capacities from sales management to marketing management to projects to manufacturing, intellectual property protection, and I've equally expanded my scope to include human health as one of my key interest areas. I've had opportunity to work briefly in the UK, in India, and South Africa. So that's me.
GSK Pharmaceuticals. Can you give us an insight as regards its origin?
GSK, it's a British company. It's evolved from mergers, acquisitions, joint ventures over time from a lot of legacy companies. So there are two legacy companies in GSK. So you have GlaxoSmithKline and you have SmithKline Beecham. And if you look at the history of those two companies, you see that they've evolved from some other companies as well. So you've seen almost about 6-7 companies in one as a mega company today. And GSK came to be in 2000-2001 when GlaxoSmithKline, GlaxoSmithKline and SmithKline Beecham merged globally. So in Nigeria, we've had a presence from both legacy companies for close to 50-60 years. And since then, we've always been here, despite the downturn, despite the challenges in the operating environment. So we're happy to be an international company, but a truly Nigerian company at the same time.
Well, proudly Nigeria.
Proudly Nigeria.
An organization as large as this would have set up some objectives, vision and mission. Tell us about them.
I'll start with our global mission. Our global mission is to improve the quality of human life by enabling people to do more, live better, and live longer. So that's our global mission, and that's what propels us all around the globe. In Nigeria, we're part of African developing countries business unit. In African developing countries business unit, we have a compelling mission in Africa. Our mission is to see how we reach 80% of consumers in Africa and developing countries. And that's what's propelling what we want to do in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we are fully aligned to African developing countries' mission or vision, which is to reach 80%. So we are set to actually see how we have value propositions that will meet the needs of 80% of consumers who need our products, and that's what we set out to do.
What are your leading products, its uniqueness, and the success?
We're an healthcare and pharma company, so we're household name in antibiotics. So when you talk about life-saving antibiotics, There's prescription-only medicines, but for the prescribers and the patients who've had opportunity to be prescribed some of these antibiotics, they are still very effective. They save lives, they improve quality of life. We have respiratory medicines as well to take care of asthma, take care of rhinitis, and what have you. So we have our respiratory portfolio. It's one of the key heritage pipeline or franchise in GSK. We have very good experience there. Life-saving drugs for asthma, for what have you. We equally have products in the in wellness. Talk about you have malaria, you have pain, catarrh, and what have you. So we have our Panadol, we have what have you. Then we have our vaccines. The vaccines are life-saving products, and it's been seen globally, and it's been viewed as one of the few interventions that can actually cut down deaths, especially in the under 5s in developing countries. So we have a lot of vaccines, very good ones that have made some conditions that threaten human life to become a reality. So we're proud to be there. We still have some other products, in other portfolios as well, cardiology, oncology, But we truly have cutting-edge products, a combination of what we call prescription-only medicines and over-the-counter medicines. But in each category that we have these brands, they are leading brands in those categories because we come up with good science. We come up with products that are supported by good science and they stand the test of time.
A doctor asked me to come and get this medicine. With the scratch panel, please.
It's mobile authentication service designed to fight counterfeiting.
Kidney counterfeiting, is that the new infection?
It is worse than an infection, worse than armed robbery. It's the manufacturing and sales of fake and dangerous medicine.
In order to avoid fake anti-malaria and antibiotic drugs,
request for medicine with mobile authentication service at your pharmacy.
NAFDAC and GSK storming augmenting 625 drove counterfeiting. Scratch the panel. Test PIN to 38353. Wait at the pharmacy. You will get a reply shortly. SMS is free on all networks.
Stay healthy, stay safe with mobile authentication service.
Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success.
what has been your philosophy in driving GSK Pharmaceuticals to the level it is today? And what's the new innovation you intend to introduce?
The philosophy of GSK is very, very key, pretty much consistent across the globe. Our philosophy is to put patients at the heart of everything we do.
People are at the heart of what we do. We want to help them do more, feel better, and live longer. Because healthy people make healthy communities. And healthy communities are at the heart of strong societies. For more than 150 years, we've helped transform the lives and futures of millions of people and achieved some notable milestones in the process. Despite this, today, millions still don't have access to basic health care.
When we put patients at the heart of everything we do, that means in our product development, we put patients at the heart of how we develop our products. In terms of quality, we put patients at the heart of it. In terms of how we do our business, reaching out to healthcare providers, interacting with them, we put patients first, not the financial gain or monetary gain.
Once our new products have made it into production, we want to get them to the people who need them, wherever they live. So we price our products at levels that reflect a country's ability to pay.
We're a consumer patient-centric organization, and that's the philosophy that propels us, that guides everything that we do, to make sure in every decision we take, patients is at the center of it all.
Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success.
What are the challenges facing GSK Pharmaceuticals and the pharma industry today?
There are several challenges facing the industry, pharma industry. You know, from things that are common to all in the business environment, like how you source your fund, how you get the right talent to work in your organization. You know, beyond all those things that are very common in the business environment are challenges to all. We have some peculiar ones for GSK and for companies that have been successful in the pharma industry. One of the key challenges we have has to do with counterfeits. You know, in this environment, the counterfeiter go after successful brands. So we're lucky to have a lot of successful brands, and the counterfeiters have been trying their best to see how they can copy our brands, you know, and make them available to unknowing consumers. That's been a key challenge which stares us in face, and we continue to see how to do something about it. We do something about it, and we continue to do something about it.
Now let's talk about government support for manufacturing companies. Do you think they're doing enough? And in what area do you think they can also improve?
Well, we need to thank government. They've tried to some extent to support manufacturers with what we call intervention fund. It's helped in a way to ensure that some of our factories upgrade to international standard. We're grateful for that. Government also has a policy on a procurement law which is expected to give priority to local manufacturers, but we've not seen this really being implemented to the letter in terms of certain preference for standard locally manufactured products to have, you know, some preferential consideration in local tenders. We've not seen that widespread, you know. But beyond that, I think there's still a whole lot of areas government can see coming. I think first, when you look at the fiscal policy, some of our inputs still come as some, they still carry some level of duty or the other. We have our machineries, we have a lot of inputs that come into we use in the industry. Some of them still carry some level of import duty. This needs to be reviewed. Ultimately, we want to lower cost of our products to consumers. So the cheaper our input, the cheaper the products we're able to churn out, and the more affordable they can be to the patients and consumers. Beyond this also, we know there are certain other incentives that government can give to stimulate research and development, underwrite some of our risk, especially when you go into research and development and what have you. Power is very global, but it accounts for about 25% of our operating expense. So, you know, we want more to be done in terms of power as well. Availability of good labor is still what government needs to look into. So, yes, our universities are training people, but is there a good interface, handshake between industry and our universities so that the graduates that are churning out have the right capability that can seamlessly fit into the industry? I think that's an area of improvement there.
Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success.
A doctor asked me to come and get this medicine. With the scratch panel, please.
It's mobile authentication service designed to fight counterfeiting.
Kí ni counterfeiting? Is that the new infection?
It is worse than an infection, worse than armed robbery. It's the manufacturing and sales of fake and dangerous medicine.
In order to avoid fake anti-malaria and antibiotic drugs,
Request for medicine with mobile authentication service at your pharmacy.
NAFDAC and GSK storming augmenting 625 drove counterfeiting. Scratch the panel. Test PIN to 38353. Wait at the pharmacy. You will get a reply shortly. SMS is free on all networks.
Stay healthy, stay safe with mobile authentication service.
Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success. Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success.
counterfeiting has become a serious problem in Nigeria and globally. What's your take on the menace of counterfeiting in Nigeria and globally?
Counterfeiting it's a big problem. For whichever industry you want to look at it, pharma, non-pharmaceuticals, fast-moving consumer goods, is still a big problem. In the pharma industry, we regard this as unwholesome products. Unwholesome products which sometimes may contain an active substance. Sometimes the packaging is tampered with, it's still a counterfeit. Sometimes it contains lesser quantity of the essential, the main active ingredients. Sometimes they falsify information about the expiry dates and the shelf life of the product. All these are counterfeit, and it has far-reaching implications on the public, because the public, they consume the wrong products, right? It could worsen their situation, right? On the health system, it breaches trust between patients and healthcare providers, because when patients use counterfeit medicines and they do not get better, they are not likely to return to that institution. So they lose respect for the healthcare provider and the institution. To the public, they consume counterfeit medicines. They don't get better. Some are lucky they are still alive. We have, cases where people actually lost their life because they consume counterfeit medicines. Oftentimes, it's additional cost for those who survive, but because eventually they still have to spend more money to get the original brand. For we, the companies, it places us in a very precarious situation where, we could have reputational damage because somebody consumes unknowingly a counterfeit product and fails this company's product. Equally, we lose revenue because when patients don't consume the original product, we have lost revenue, right? And for us, it becomes a disincentive to actually invest in R&D because we've lost revenue. There's no money to plow back into research and development and the research into drugs that will save lives in the future. For the government loses revenue because people deal in counterfeits. They do it in the black market. They don't pass through the normal route of business. So government loses revenue, that should have accrued from a legitimate business. So I think it's a very big problem. We all need to hold hands to do something about it. And it should actually be treated as a criminal offense for those who partake in that illicit activity.
How can consumers identify genuine products from counterfeit products?
One of the critical things that a consumer must do is to ensure that when they want to buy their medicines, they buy it at the licensed, recognized outlets, not faceless outlets, reputable licensed outlets, licensed pharmacy outlets. Most of these are likely to stock or will stock genuine products, right? So that's number one. Number two is they need to be vigilant in terms of the product. If it's a product that they had previously used, they need to check the pack, look out for salient things around how the prints appear. You know, oftentimes counterfeiter will always make one error or the other. That we've seen. Check out any of their packs. You see that the expiry date is not well stamped somewhere. You know, you see one blunder or the other somewhere along the line. Or maybe even the trade name, the character is different from the character in the original pack and what have you. That's number two. Number three, for most vulnerable brands, the manufacturers sometimes provide security features which will have been awareness will have been created to enable consumers identify which is genuine, which is not counterfeit, and such consumers who need to pay attention to such things to ensure that they are conversant with what the manufacturers, are communicating about how to identify the original brands from their portfolio. This is very important, and I think a lot of manufacturers have, one or two things that they've communicated to the public around how they can identify, the original brand, especially those that are vulnerable to counterfeiting.
What measures can brands and manufacturers take to better protect their products from counterfeiters?
What is paramount to all manufacturers is to see how they ensure that the genuine products get to the consumer. One of the key areas they've done is to secure the pack. In securing the pack, they put security features on it. The security features come in two perspectives. Some are obvious to consumers, which they create awareness to consumers for them to be able to, differentiate and, be able to pick the right one at the point of sales. It could be mobile authentication service labels, it could be holograms and what have you. The second aspect of that security features, we have what we call those that are hidden, that the consumer may not know. So it's only the manufacturer, when they pick up the packs, the hidden features they'll be able to see if it belongs to them or not. The second aspect of fighting counterfeiting, which the manufacturers have put in place, is to secure the supply chain. So in securing the supply chain is to ensure that the products are readily available in the right outlets. So there are no gaps for counterfeiters to catch in on. Once there is scarcity, unavailability, then you're giving rooms for counterfeiters and all that. And beyond these two, what the industry or the manufacturer do again is to invest in surveillance. So they gather intelligence around what's going on, where their products are being sold, so that they can pick some of these cases of counterfeits very, very early as it happens. The other aspect which they do is to see that every case of counterfeiting they get, they collaborate with regulatory agencies like NAFDAC, to ensure that these cases are prosecuted to logical conclusion. By so doing, this may serve as deterrent to those who want to go that way. So those are the main approaches manufacturers have adopted to secure their brand and to fight counterfeits.
Boldfaces, the pinnacle of success.